नाम संकीर्तन की जय। हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतम डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतम डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की जय। श्री द्वारिका धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। श्री अयोध्या धाम की जय। गंगा माई की जय। यमुना माई की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। भक्ति प्रदायिनी तुलसी महारानी की जय। गौ माता की जय। श्री राधा कुंज बिहारी भगवान की जय। श्री राधा गोपी जन वल्लभ भगवान की जय। श्री निताय गौर सुंदर की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू assembled devotees. हरे कृष्ण। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू assembled devotees. हरे कृष्ण। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू assembled devotees. हरे कृष्ण। All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, Hare Krishna. Once again, welcome everyone. Whoever joined us a little late during the Kirtan was going on, so once again, welcome everyone. So today we will be discussing chapter 7 of Bhagavad Gita. And before we enter into chapter 7, we are going to have a short quiz on chapter 6, and it's just as a verbal quiz. I'm just going to ask some question, and whoever want, they can raise their hand either by turning on their cameras or just in the other way, just raising your hand to answer the question. Okay, so chapter 6, what was the title of chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita? We are going to do it very quick, 5 minutes, just a short quick quiz. So Pavani, what is the title of Dhyana Yoga? Okay, good. Anybody else? Any other subtitles of chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita?
Controlling mind.
Controlling the mind. Okay.
Controlling mind and sense.
Controlling the mind and senses. Okay. In specifically, we mentioned the title of chapter 6 as Atam Sanyam Yoga. Okay, Atam Sanyam Yoga. Okay. What is the relation of mind with the living entity?
Mind is friend as well as enemy.
Okay, mind can be our friend as well as our enemy. So next question, in what condition mind is considered as an enemy, and in what condition mind is considered as a friend of living entity?
If the mind thinks about Krishna, then it will reach us to liberation. If the mind is thinking about material things and going to a sense gratification, then it will bind us in this material world.
Okay, very good. Hari bol for Pavani. Okay, so if the mind is attached to sense enjoyment, the objects of sense enjoyment, then the mind is enemy, then the mind is binding us in this world. If the mind is detached from these material objects and help us move towards Krishna, then it is our friend, it is liberating. Okay, so what are some of the prerequisites for performing Ashtanga Yoga process?
Then you have to control your pranas, you have to be in particular asana.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else also? Please feel free to answer. What are some of the prerequisites which are mentioned in chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita for performing Ashtanga Yoga or Dhyana Yoga? Okay, Praveen Prabhu?
Must have 8 limbs you are asking, Prabhuji?
No, not the 8 limbs. Some of the conditions, right? Krishna says one has to do this, this, this. like go to a secluded place, this, that. So some of those prerequisites.
Moderate eating, moderate sleeping.
Okay, we will come there. We'll get to that point also. So some of the things which Krishna says is that one should go to a secluded place, okay, lay down a kusha grass, observe celibacy. So those kind of things. Now, what are some of the regulations which Krishna is talking about? That one should perform some of the regulations to be a yogi.
Yuktahara viharasya yukta.
Okay, yes. Yukta ahar viharasya yukta cheshtata. So what are these four things? Anybody can mention the four things?
Yuktahara vihar, yukta cheshtasya karmasu, yukta swapna bodhastya, yoga, these things.
Yeah, so what are these four things in a layman term?
Yuktahara means the diet, vihar means the recreational activities, yukta cheshtasya karmasu means your actions, and yukta swapna bodhastya, your sleeping habits.
Okay, good. So the four things which Krishna is talking about, regulating these four things. One is regulating our eating, the food we eat, so the due time, what we eat, what times we eat. So the regulating the eating, then regulating our sleeping, how much you sleep, what time you sleep, and then regulating our work, right? Not just being working 12 hours, 14 hours a day. Regulate your work also, and then regulating your recreation, the entertainment activities. So regulating these four things. Okay, so the next question, what are some of the characteristics mentioned about the mind, the qualities of the mind? Okay, somebody else has to answer. Not the same family every time. So please open up. So what are the four characteristics of the mind which Arjuna is describing?
Chanchal,
Okay.
and stubborn, magnifying problems, yeah, and then pleasure, imagining the pleasure, and denying reality.
Okay, so those are what I described in terms of mind, M-I-N-D, those things. But in terms of, in Arjuna's words, the four qualities of the mind, what Arjuna says is Chanchalam hi manah Krishna Paramati Balavat Dradam. Okay, so these are the four things. Chanchalam means flickering, it's very flickering. Then Balbat means it's very strong. Okay, Pramati means it's mad. And Dradam means it's obstinate, Jiddi. So these are the four things which Arjuna mentioned, and then we discussed more. M-I-N-D. M means it magnifies the problem. I means it imagines the pleasure. N means it neglects the opportunities, and D means it denies the reality. Okay. What is the destination of unsuccessful yogi? If somebody takes to this process but he is not able to finish this process, gain the 100% success, then what happens to that kind of unsuccessful yogi?
They'll be born in a rich or a devotee family.
Okay. One condition is they will be born in a rich and no, you have mixed both things. So one is born in a rich and aristocratic family, as a Brahmana family, but before that they will be taking birth in higher planets after exhausting their or enjoying for a longer duration of time. Then they will be born in a Shuchinam Shrimatam Gehe, in a rich family or kind of as a Brahmana family. So that is the condition for somebody who has failed after a short duration of practice. And if somebody has failed after a long practice, a long duration of practice, spiritual practice, they just could not complete it for some reason. What is their destination? Yes, Pavani?
They continue their devotion in their next life.
They continue their devotion in the next life. So in what kind of family they take birth?
In a devotee, in a like Brahmin-based devotee family, where
Yes.
they can where they can conveniently practice such things.
Yes, so they take birth in a transcendentalist family who are practicing devotees. So they get the spark from the beginning to continue their spiritual life. Okay, so remember these two conditions. Either if they have failed after a short duration of practice, and that happens because of some desires to enjoy. So Krishna first give them opportunity to enjoy in the higher planets, and then they come back to earth and take birth in a rich family or a Brahminical family where they are given opportunity to continue. They don't have to worry about their food, their clothing, their shelter kind of things. Or if somebody has failed after long duration of life, then they continue in the next life itself by taking birth in a family of Vaishnavas. Okay? All right. And what is considered as the best yogi? Next question. So Krishna says, always become a yogi. Why does Krishna say so? Sumit Prabhu, you want to answer?
No.
Okay, Manoj Prabhu.
Prabhuji, yoginam api sarvesha madhyanteram tasma shraddhavatmenayo masamyukto maka.
That is, yeah, we will come to that. What kind of yogi is best? But I'm saying why Krishna says become a yogi. Krishna is comparing the yogi to which kind of people earlier? In text 46, actually, I will give you the hint. In the second last verse of chapter 6. So Krishna says, tapasvi namcha adhiko yogi. So that verse Krishna is comparing that among the ascetics, yogi is a better. Yogi is better than a jnani. Yogi is better than a karmi. So in all conditions, become a yogi. And what kind of yogi? Now that is the answer which Priya Gauranga Prabhu was mentioning. So what kind of yogi is considered as the best yogi?
Bhakti yogi was not
Bhakti yogi?
all the
Bhakti yogi, yes, bhakti yogi. Yogi nam api sarvesham mat gatenantaratmanah. So the yogi who is constantly thinking about Krishna in his heart, that is considered as the best yogi, that is bhakti yogi. Okay, so that was chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita. Now, from that verse onwards, we are going to move into chapter 7 of Bhagavad Gita. So before we enter into chapter 7, let's invoke the blessings of the Lordships and the Guru Parampara, so we can discuss something meaningful and our understanding could lead us to some sincerity in our devotional practice. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Guru Dinatarinim Paramanandamadhavam Shri Chaitanyeshwaram. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Namo Mahavedanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratshe Namaha. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhaktashaktikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्तः नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छः कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Okay, Hare Krishna. So chapter 7 of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7 is titled as the knowledge of the absolute. Okay, Bhagavat Gyan. Okay, remember the title, knowledge of the absolute, or Bhagavat Gyan, or it's also called Jnana Vigyan Yoga. Okay, so Jnana Vigyan Yoga means the Gyan refers to knowledge of powers of the Supreme Lord, and Vigyan means realization about the sweetness of the Lord. So Jnana Vigyan Yoga, the knowledge of powers and sweetness of the Lord. So that is title of chapter 7 of Bhagavad Gita. Now the acronym which we are going to use for chapter 7 of Bhagavad Gita is HEAD. Okay, head, H-E-A-D, head. So H is hearing. Okay, the understanding about the Supreme Lord happens by hearing. Tat Shrunu. That's from where chapter 7 of Bhagavad Gita starts. So Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna that therefore one should hear. Tat Shrunu, hearing. And then E means everywhere. God is everywhere. So sometimes people ask this question, okay, where is God? Have you seen God? Can you show me God? So God is everywhere. We can perceive God in this material world by various different elements here. So E is everywhere. Then A means accept or reject. Yes, we can perceive God everywhere. Now it's up to us. We want to accept the God or we want to reject God. People want to be atheist or theist. Okay, astik or nastik. And then D is the devi devatas. Okay, if Krishna, if you are Supreme Lord, you can be perceived everywhere, then what about other devi devatas? Why people approach any other devi devatas? So Krishna is going to speak about that topic. So that is the overall flow of chapter 7 of Bhagavad Gita. So acronym HEAD, H-E-A-D. So overall, if we really see this chapter of Bhagavad Gita talk about the theme of does God exist? If yes, how to perceive God? Why not everybody believes in Him? And who really is God? If God does exist, who really is God? Are there multiple gods or there is one God? Okay, so is there monotheism or there is polytheism, or what we call as a pantheism? So what is the understanding about the Supreme Lord? So now in chapter 6, the ending two verses, or let's say the last verse itself, where Krishna is saying that one should become a yogi, yoginam api sarvesham madgaten antaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamo matah. Among all the yogis, one who is having great faith in me, always abiding in me, thinks of me within him, render transcendental service unto me, he is most intimately united with me in yoga. Okay, and he is the highest of all. So Krishna says, that's my opinion. Mataha. Same yukta tamo mataha. That is my opinion. So now, in here Krishna is confirming that yes, among all the yogi, bhakti yogi is better. Then this question may come. Okay, somebody may ask Krishna that, okay, I have understood that you have indicated some of the unique qualities of your devotee. What are his qualities? He absorbed his mind in you. Okay, madgaten antaratmana. and he has faith in you, Shraddhabhan. And then what type of devotee is he? Is he Ananya Bhakta? Okay? Is he qualified with knowledge, complete knowledge about yourself, as understanding your powers, understanding your sweetness? So what kind of devotee is he? So that's how Krishna is starting chapter 7 to answer that question. So the realization about the sweetness of the Lord in various relationships, that will come in proportion to our intensity to worship the Supreme Lord. Okay, whatever is our intensity to serve Krishna, in that proportion Krishna reveals himself to us. So the spiritual knowledge is not to be understood just by our own endeavor, that I can open the book and I can read Bhagavad Gita and I can understand. Yes, book is available openly to everyone. Somebody can get access to Bhagavad Gita as a printed book. Somebody can get access to Bhagavad Gita as online version. So Bhagavad Gita is openly available to everybody, but still it is considered as secret, most confidential knowledge. Why? Because it's not understood by our own endeavor, by our own scholarships, but by revelation. When Krishna reveals himself to us, and that happens to the degree of our surrender to Krishna. Okay, so the first verse of chapter 7, Krishna is answering this question: what kind of devotee is he basically, whose mind is attached to me or mind is absorbed in me, who is having faith in me? So Krishna says, now Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya Sakta Manah Partha Yogam Yunjam Madashraya Asanchayam Samagramma Yatha Gyasyasi Tat Shunu. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, O son of Pritha, by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubts. Okay, so if we see the flow in this first text itself, it says Tat Shrunu, hear. And what will happen with hearing? Gyasasi Samagramaha. So you will know me in completeness. And then what will happen? Asamshaya. Then your doubts will be removed. So when one keep hearing, one will know Krishna properly, and by knowing Krishna properly, the doubts will be removed, which is asamshaya. And when the doubts are removed, then what happens? Then we take shelter of Krishna. Okay, then is ashraya. And when somebody takes shelter of Krishna, then they are connected with Krishna wholeheartedly, yogam yunjam. Okay, so they are connected with Krishna, and then once they are connected with Krishna, they become more and more attached to Krishna. Asakta manaha. So their mind becomes attached. So in the last verse of 6th chapter, Krishna has said, Mat gaten antaratmanaha. So inside their mind they think of me. After we think about Krishna, after we keep hearing about Krishna, then what happens? Then mind become attached to Krishna. So here Krishna is starting with Mai asakta manaha. Their mind become attached to me. So one need to come to that stage where their mind becomes completely absorbed in Krishna, becomes attached to Krishna. See, bhakti and the direct experience of the Supreme Lord, and then detachment from the other worldly things. Okay, so these happen simultaneously for somebody who has taken shelter of the Supreme Lord. So when we take shelter of Krishna by following the process of bhakti, then we will be able to have direct experience of Krishna in various rasas. Either we experience in the mood of dasya rasa, sakhya rasa, vatsalya rasa, madhurya rasa, or shanta rasa. So these are the various exchanges with the Supreme Lord. So when we engage in bhakti, then we have these different experiences of the Supreme Lord, and automatically the detachment from this material world happen. Okay, so in Srimad Bhagavatam, the example is given that when somebody is very hungry and when they eat the food, what happen? While eating the food, they get the pleasure of eating also, they get the nourishment of the body also, and they get relief from the hunger also. So these three things happen simultaneously. They are able to enjoy they are able to get nourishment and relief from hunger. So same way, when we engage in bhakti, that these three things happen simultaneously. But now, just consider another thing. If somebody is very hungry and he gets only one bite, with one bite, will be able to enjoy or get nourishment or a relief from hunger. So it does not happen just with one bite if somebody is very hungry. So they need to have enough food, right, to get that nourishment and satisfaction. So same way, not just having a little bit of here and there some bhakti, or that okay, once in a while, once in a month, or on particular occasions I come to temple and do some bhajan, engage in some kirtan or something, and then I can experience that ecstasy in Krishna consciousness. No, it does not happen in that way. One has to have enough engagement in Krishna consciousness, then one is able to attach their mind with Krishna. Then they can see the form of Krishna as Shama Sundar. Okay, and then they can realize him clearly. So that is what Krishna is saying. When they keep hearing about me, tat shruno, ultimately their mind will become attached to me. And what happens with hearing? In the second text, Krishna says, Jnanam teham sa vigyanam idam vakshami asheshatah yat gyatva neho bhuyo anyaj gyatvyam avashishyate. So now I will explain to you the knowledge of my powers, Gyan, along with the knowledge of my sweetness, Vigyan. Jnanam teham sa vigyanam. So I will give you the knowledge about my powers also, and I will give you the realization about my sweetness also. And after knowing that, there is nothing else for you to know. There is nothing remained for you to know. Okay. So Krishna here is telling, I'm going to reveal everything to you. Now in Christianity also, in Bible, when people study, Jesus Christ tells his followers that I have so many things to tell you, but you do not have the capacity to bear it. Okay, you are not at level to understand those things. So he told his followers only some basic certain things. Whereas in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna, I will explain everything to you. After that, nothing else remains to be known. So at different time, different place, different circumstances, and by the ability of people to understand, the knowledge is revealed in that proportion. Okay, so knowledge is revealed based on the time, place, circumstances, and based on the ability of people to grasp that knowledge. The same knowledge is spoken in a very easy way. Let's say a student, a child who is in a 8th grade, he will have a medical knowledge or the knowledge biology, the explanation of the digestive system explained in a very simple way, right, in our elementary school, high school level. And if somebody goes to medical school during their MBBS program, then they will have much more detailed understanding of the digestion system, what all is involved in that. And if somebody is doing super speciality into the digestive system, MD, then they go even more details into that. So same way, the knowledge of the scripture is explained at different levels based on the ability of people to understand. So here Krishna is telling Arjuna, you are capable of understanding, and I will give you the full revelation of my powers also, as well as the experience of my sweetness also. Why? In which particular rasa Arjuna is experiencing? In Sakhya rasa, in friendly relationship. And further Krishna says, this experience of me, the complete knowledge of me, Jnana Vigyana Sahitam, it's very rare. Okay, so Krishna says, Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kaschit Yatati Siddhai Yattam Api Siddhanam Kaschin Mam Veti Tatvatah. So there are countless living entities in this material world. And among all these countless living entities, one may become as a human. And among thousands of human, one may work for spiritual progress. And among thousands of such people who work for spiritual progress, only one among such thousands may understand Krishna in completeness. So that is the rarity of this knowledge. Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschit mamveti tattvataha. So the word uses tattvataha. Krishna ko tattva se samajhna, tattva se janna. That is very rare. Okay, because many people, even though they come to the process of spiritual life, they have different level of understanding. Somebody may understand God is impersonal. Bhagwan nirakar hai. Okay? Somebody may say Bhagwan is just some energy. God is just some energy, some light. So people have different level of understanding. Somebody say he is just impersonal Brahman. Somebody say he has a supreme personality of Godhead. He has his personal form. So coming to that level of understanding is very rare. So Krishna is indirectly attracting Arjuna, saying very few people know me and you are one among them. Right? It's just like a breaking news. Everybody want to know the breaking news firsthand so that they can tell others. So same way Krishna is telling Arjuna, see, now you are going to understand me in completeness and you are a very rare person. Because many people, they create division in the society thinking that okay, Bhakti Yoga is for sentiment class of people. People who are very emotional, they can engage in Bhakti. Somebody who is very hardworking, karmi, for them they should engage in karma. Karma is for a hardworking class of people. Ashtanga Yoga is for people who want to do austerities. And then somebody who is very intellectual, for them it's Jnana Yoga. So people try to come up with such divisions of society in that way, among the spiritualists also. And many people think, oh, I am a very intellectual person, so for me, I should do Jnana Yoga. I should try to just study the scriptures and try to understand in that way. So Prabhupada argues, okay, if Bhakti is such an easy process, if somebody thinks, oh, Bhakti is for sentiment class of people, it's very easy. We want to do some hard path of Ashtanga Yoga or Jnana Yoga. If Bhakti is so easy, why choose the hard path? Why not choose the easy path? If, for example, if somebody is climbing a mountain, that time everybody will try to find out the easy path out. How to easiest to reach the peak of the mountain the easiest possible way. But then why people claim, oh, we want to take the hard path and not the easy path? Why? Because Bhakti, actually, it is very easy. But practicing that easy path itself becomes very difficult for people who are very complex-minded people. Otherwise, Bhakti process is very easy. But yes, it is still hard in the sense it also involves a lot of austerities. Getting up early in the morning, doing your sadhana, following the 4 regulative principles. Many people are not able to follow that. And they think, oh, we are taking the hard path by going to Ashtanga Yoga or Jnana Yoga. No. Okay, so after Krishna told, among thousands of such transcendentalists who are trying to understand me, one knows me in truth, tattvataha. Then if somebody argues that, okay, how to see God? Can you show me? Because you say you are connected with God in yoga, can you show me God? Have you seen God? So there are so many people who say God does not exist. And there are some people who say God exists. In Sanskrit we have 2 terms, Astik and Nastik. Astik word comes from Asti. Asti means hai. Bhagwan hai. God exists. So that is called Astik. And some people who say Bhagwan nahi hai, na asti. God does not exist. Those are called Nastiks. So these are the 2 class of people. Some say God exists, some say God does not exist. And people who claim God exists, they are questioned by the atheist people. Can you show me God? Have you seen God? So how to understand, how to prove that yes, God exists? How to prove God's existence? So one of the very basic thing to make it understand, in the creation, any creation implies a creator. So in this nature, we see so many beautiful flowers, and all these flowers are with different textures, with different fragrances, with different colors and all. So how did all these flowers come into existence? Who created those flowers? If our child does little painting, okay, he draw a flower and paint the flower, then we say, very nice. So did you paint this? Did you create this? Right? So we'll ask that. If we see a very nice painting, we'll ask, who has made this painting? So for these small things, we will ask somebody who is behind this, who has created this. But when it comes to this whole creation, this whole material world and all these beautiful things which we see in the nature, then why don't we ask who has created this? How did they come into existence? Okay, so same way in this creation. So creation implies a creator. We cannot say that, oh, if I am making the chapatis, that one day just the flour and the water will all mix together and then it will go into the oven and the chapatis will come out automatically. No, we know there is somebody behind that to make the chapati. Somebody is mixing the flour and the water and making the dough and then rolling that dough and then putting it onto the stove and making these chapatis. So for any small creation, there is a creator behind. Same way for this whole creation, there is a creator behind that. So creation employs a creator. Okay, otherwise what is the need of all these big builders to make these big buildings if we think everything came from a big bang? People propose this theory as a Big Bang theory, that all some elements at very high temperature and pressure, everything mixed together and one big bang happened and everything came into existence. If that can happen, then why to hire a builder, a contractor to make these houses, these colonies? They should just keep making bangs and these houses will pop up. But this does not happen. So creation employs a creator. And then the second principle is the law employs a lawmaker. Behind any law, there is somebody who has made that law. Okay, so the trains are going in a track. If one train is going in west direction, other is coming from the opposite direction, they don't collide with each other, they just get separated on different tracks. So all these trains coming on at particular times on particular track, who has managed that? Somebody has created that system behind that. All the red light signals, okay, at different intersections, one light on from one side it turns green, from other side it turns red. So somebody has put together that system. An innocent child may think, oh, everything is happening automatically. This light turns green, that light turns red. So everything is happening automatically and this traffic is flowing. But that child, out of innocence, he does not know somebody is behind that to put together that system. Okay, somebody has put that intelligence. Some programming has been done for the lights to turn on, off at particular times. So for every law, there is a lawmaker behind that. There is somebody who is controlling. Automatic does not mean absence of a creator or a controller. And same way for every urge in this material nature, there is fulfillment in the nature. We feel hungry, there is provision of food in the nature. We feel thirsty, there is provision of water in the nature. So for every urge, there is a fulfillment in the nature. So who has done that? Somebody must be behind who has done that. So God is there behind all this creation and all these law of nature. Everything which is happening in the nature. The sun rises in the morning, sets in the evening. The earth is rotating about its orbit. All these different planets are going in their own orbit. They don't collide with each other. So all this is perfectly going on. Yeah, after day, night come. After night, day comes. Then different seasons come and go. Everything is working in this nature. So who is behind that? Okay, how to perceive the presence of God? So now if somebody asks this question, can you show me God? So that is why Krishna is explaining this set of verses. So Krishna says, to understand the proof of God's existence, Krishna says, Bhumirapo nalo vayu kham mano buddhir evacha ahankar ityam me bhinnah prakartir ashtadaha. So this water, fire, air, ether. Okay, so the earth, water, fire, air, ether, these 5 elements, which are the gross elements, and then 3 subtle elements, mind, intelligence, false ego, come mano buddhir evacha, ahankar itiyam me. So these are the 3 subtle elements, man, buddhi, ahankar. So these total 8 elements, Krishna says, itiyam me bhinnah prakritir ashtada. These are my 8 separated energies. So everything is coming from me. So Krishna says everything is coming from me. These are the 8 different separated energies. So we see there is earth, there is water, there is fire, air, ether. So everything is coming from Krishna. And then Krishna says beside these 8 elements, there is a higher element also, which is the living entity, the superior energy, which is exploiting these material energies, the inferior energies. So the living entity is utilizing all these material elements. So all these are Krishna's energies. So if we see everywhere, anywhere you see water, who has created this water? Sometimes science will say, oh, water is H2O, 2 elements of hydrogen, 1 element of oxygen, they mixed together and water came up. Okay, but who put those 2 elements of hydrogen and 1 element of oxygen together to make it into water? There is so much of hydrogen and oxygen in the atmosphere. Why they are not mixing together and water falling all the time, constantly? So somebody has put together, even if they consider H2O, then somebody must be there behind to combine them together in the right proportion. So when we see the vast oceans of water, we can perceive God. This is God's creation. You see the air, the breeze of air. Oh, this is Krishna's creation. This is Krishna's energy. I see the land everywhere. That is Krishna's energy. Agni, the fire. So all these are Krishna's energy. Okay, once Srila Prabhupada was walking. He was going on a morning walk with his disciples. And at that time the sunrise was happening. And one of the disciples exclaimed, seeing the sunrise and the beautiful scenery that time, he exclaimed, how beautiful is the sunrise? Prabhupada said, yes, of course. If sunrise is so beautiful, how much more beautiful the person should be who has created this sun, who has created this whole nature. See, so somebody may see this natural beauty, but who has the right understanding, he will see the hand of God behind everything. Okay? Agar ye prakriti, if this nature is so beautiful, how beautiful God should be who has created this nature. So the materialistic people, they will see only the gross matter, this external creation here which we can perceive with our eyes. But then there is subtle matter, this buddhi, man, ahankar. So mind is the storehouse of all the different thoughts, the different feelings. Intelligence is the discriminating power between good and bad. So like in a computer, there is CPU. CPU is the central processing unit. So intelligence is like the central processing unit. And then in the computer, there is hard disk, which stores all the data. So our mind is like the hard disk. And then ego. Ego is the wire which bind the living entity to the body. So that is ego. Ego is basically the false identification. So ego is also false ego and true ego. So what we are referring to ahankar is the false ego, the false identification. We falsely identify ourselves with this body. Oh, I am male or I am female, I am black or white, I am Indian or American, I am tall or short, I am fat or skinny. So all these are the bodily designation, identifying ourselves with the body. That is false identification. Whereas the true identification is identifying ourselves with the Supreme Lord. Like Hanuman says, I am the servant of Lord Ramachandra. That is the true ego. Okay? That is true identification. So we are all identifying ourselves wrongly with this material body. So that is the false ego which binds us with in this material world, which binds the soul with the body. So a materialist talk about the gross matter, whereas a transcendentalist, as a devotee, we should do MSc in spiritual knowledge. What is this MSc? The knowledge about the matter the spirit. So M is matter, S is spirit, and C is controller of both. Who is the controller of both? Means God, who is the controller of both the material energy as well as the spiritual energy. So we should have MSc in the spiritual understanding, knowing the matter, spirit, and controller of both. So then Krishna says, how I am controlling everything, or how I am managing everything in this material world. Krishna says, Mattah paratram nanyat kanchit asti dhananjaya mai sarvam idam protam sutre manigana eva. So there is no truth superior to me. Mattah paratram nanyat. There is nothing which is superior to me. If somebody thinks, oh, Krishna, he came into this material world with this particular form, but beyond that he is just some energy, he is Brahman. But Krishna says, I, standing in front of you in this particular form, there is nothing superior to me beyond this. So that is the ultimate, the last word in the supreme realization. So Mattah paratram nanyas. Krishna says, there is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me as the pearls are strung on a thread. Mai sarvam idam protam sutre manigana eva. So everything is resting on me. Krishna is giving a beautiful analogy. I am wearing this kanthi mala. We see so many of these small tulsi beads here. But how these tulsi beads are standing in their position, there is an underlying thread which is holding all these beads together. So Krishna is giving this perfect example here. Mai sarvam idam protam sutre manigana eva. I am holding everything together as the thread is holding all the money in a necklace. So Krishna is managing everything. In 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna will say, Dharyami aham ojasa. I am holding all these different things by my ojas shakti. In material science terms, what we call as gravitational force. Okay, the law of gravity. That everything is staying in their position because of gravity. Krishna says, that's my ojas shakti. Everything is staying in their orbit. All these different planets, different galaxies, they are staying in their position. I am holding them together. They are resting upon me. I am the underlying thread for everything. So now the question may come, okay, up to here everything is good. Now I know, yes, God exists. I can perceive God in the material nature when I see all these different things in the nature. But who is God? Okay, because a lot of people have different understanding about God. Up to understanding, accepting, yes, God exists, people are okay. But then after that, who is God? Many people do this hodgepodge, gadbad, golmal. People will say, some people will say God is just some energy, he is some shakti. Some people will say God is just light. Some say God is dead. Okay, God was there, but now he is dead, he is gone, he is no more. They'll say Krishna was there, but then Krishna was shot by that Jara hunter and Krishna disappeared, Krishna died. So God was there, but now he is dead. And some say, yes, there are many gods. This devata is God, that devi is God, that Baba is God, that Maya is God. So everybody is God. Some will say everybody is God. You are God, I am God. Ultimately, we all will realize one day that we are God. Right now we are in illusion, but once the illusion is gone, we will come to this understanding, realization that I am God, you are God, everybody is God. So everybody has different understanding. So how to understand who is God? So now Krishna further explains, okay, how to perceive the presence of God and who is God. Krishna says, O son of Kunti, I am the taste of water, the light of the sun, the light of the moon, the syllable Om in the Vedic mantras. I am the sound in the ether and I am the ability in the man. So Krishna is saying, I am that Supreme Lord who is providing everything, who is maintaining everything. So I am the taste of water, the light of moon and sun. So sun and moon are considered like the two eyes of the Supreme Lord in his personal form. And when people recite this Omkara, Om, that is also, Krishna says, I am the syllable Om in the Vedic mantras. And I am the sound in the ether. Because of me the sound travels, and I am also the ability in the man. So the taste of original water, okay, without any mixing. So these days we say people are after pure water, mineral water, okay, fizzy water or this and that. So people go after mineral water, spring water, pay so much price for this bottled water. And just imagine if there was no water supply, then what will happen to the life? As I said, science will say, oh, H2O, we can make water in lab. How much water can they create? Have they even created one glass of water and put it into the bottle? So, all these rivers and oceans are filled with water. From where is it coming? If there is scarcity of water, if there is no rain for some time, people will look up to the sky. When will rainfall happen? So Krishna is saying, I am the original taste of water. That pure water without any mixing. I can be perceived by the taste of water. Then I am the light of the sun and moon. Now, these days we use electricity, okay, for the tubes, bulbs, fans and everything. And if there is no electricity, it will be so dark at night time. And the little bit electricity we use, there is so much of electric bill. And people now thinking we'll go with more cash on the solar power. We want to have solar rather than depending on electricity. We want to use solar energy. So again, they want to depend on sun. So little bit electricity, we can get so much bill. Just imagine if sun and moon started sending their bill. That you have been using my energy. I am giving the light, the heat and everything. You have been using that and now you have to pay the bill. You know how much bill that can be? It will go into billions and trillions, and every state will go bankrupt paying the bills of the sun and moon. But we see the sun and moon freely distributing their light and energy. And Krishna says, I am that light of the sun and moon. And the ability in the man. See, somebody paints the flower, but that flower cannot have the same texture or the color or the fragrance as the original flower. And we appreciate that little creator who has created a painting and a flower, but we are not able to appreciate the overall creator as God who has created everything. We plant one small seedling in the earth and we give little water. The plant grows and so many flowers come on that. And all these flowers have so much of fragrance. But we do not relate that this is all coming because of Krishna's energy. So in nature, all these things are there. So many of the birds are there. So many of the animals are there. Now if one person, one human being, in an auditorium, he is giving some talent show and he makes the sound of so many different birds. Okay, people make the sound of the cuckoo bird or the peacock or some other birds or some other animals, and people are clapping. Okay, so talented you are. And in the nature, we see all these birds and animals are naturally there with so many different voices, so many of beautiful singing in the nature. In the morning, early morning, so many birds are chirping. And how is all that happening? That is all Krishna's creation. So Krishna says, I am the ability in the man. And by seeing the prowess of the man, the ability of the man, we should appreciate this is all happening because of Krishna. If we are able to lift our hand, if we are able to do certain activity, that is also power coming from Krishna. And further Krishna says, I am the original fragrance of earth. I am the heat of the fire. I am the life of all that lives. And I am the penance of the ascetics. So the original fragrance of earth. When the first drop of rain falls on earth, that fragrance. So even no perfume can match. No perfume can compare to that. If somebody has experience when the first rain comes and that fragrance from the sand which comes out. So Krishna is explaining how Krishna can be perceived through various elements in this material nature, and he is the Supreme Lord who has created everything, who is behind all these creations. And Krishna finally clearly also says, O son of Pritha, I am the original seed of all that existence. Aham bija pradhapita. I am the seed-giving father of all the living entities. I am the intelligence of the intelligent, and I am the prowess of all the powerful men. So ultimately, everything comes from Krishna, but we take the claim of being the creator. We utilize all these material elements in terms of the sand, the other material, natural elements as the different metals. We create so many of these different objects from that, and we think we are the creator. But who has given those raw ingredients to us? Okay, people try to put their name on everything. They try to take the credit, take the claim of everything. These days there is a trend of filing patents, right? People file patent that I am the creator of this, I have created this idea or this object. These days people are patenting the ideas also. From where this idea is coming also because of Krishna's intelligence. And people want to patent on their name, they want to take the credit. Surprisingly, I saw some American scholars, some American researchers, they filed a patent that they discovered turmeric. So they filed patent for turmeric. Now, turmeric has been existing for millennium of years, right? It has been existing for so long, and now somebody here is filing a patent for that we discovered turmeric. So that is the felicity of this material world, that people want to take credit. They consider themselves as the creator and the controllers. So now the next question comes, okay Krishna, if you are everywhere, you are the Supreme Lord, then why there is wholesale denial about you? Why there is a wholesale denial about God? Why people do not accept that yes, God exists and who is God? Krishna says, because these people are deluded by the three modes of material nature. Okay, so they are deluded by ignorance, passion and goodness. That's why people do not know me. I am beyond these three modes and I am inexhaustible, but people who are covered by the three modes of nature, they cannot understand me. That is the reason people don't know me, people don't accept me. So people are in the mode of ignorance. They take shelter of smoking, intoxication, oversleeping, drugs, all these sort of things. And there are people in the mode of passion. They take pleasure in sex life, in making money, making so many achievements in this world. And they think any problem in the world, we can throw the money and solve the problem. That is their philosophy. So people are covered in ignorance, people are covered in passion, and there are people who are in the mode of goodness. They take pleasure in knowledge. At least they understand that yes, there is something higher, and they start to approach Krishna. But people who are deluded by these three modes, they cannot understand Krishna in its completeness. And somebody who is beyond three modes in Shuddha Sattva, in transcendence, they can understand Krishna in truth, Tattavata. So now when Krishna says people are covered by the three modes, it's us who are covered by three modes, not that Krishna covers himself by the three modes. It's our vision which is covered. Just like when the sun is there in the sky and there is a cloud in the sky, we think the sun is covered by the cloud. But in reality, cloud is not covering the sun. Cloud is covering our vision to see the sun. Because cloud is smaller in size than the sun. How can cloud cover the sun? So when cloud is in the sky, cloud is covering our vision to be able to see the sun. So same way, the modes of material nature, they do not cover Krishna. They cover the living entity to be able to perceive Krishna's prowesses, Krishna's powers and his sweetness. But then Krishna, okay, if everybody is covered by these three modes, nobody can perceive you. Is there any way that you can be realized? How to know you then? How can I come to you? How can I know you? Then Krishna answers that Devi yesha gunmai mama maya dhurattaya mam eva ye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. So Krishna says, my this divine nature, divine energy which consists of these three modes of material nature, it is very difficult to overcome. Dhurattaya. Okay, so devi hi esha gunamai mama maya. First of all, this material nature, which is consisting of three modes, that's my energy. And it's very dhurattaya, very difficult to overcome. It's dushkara. But then how to overcome it? Mam evaye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. So yes, I understand it's very difficult to overcome, but somebody who takes my shelter, who surrenders unto me, they can very easily cross beyond it. Okay, otherwise this Maya is very difficult. It does not want to let go of anybody. Okay, who want to let go of their servant? They want to hold on to their servant. Right now we are all the slaves of Maya. And Maya does not let us go. But when somebody, the living entity, takes shelter of Krishna, and then this Maya Devi, which is also servant of Krishna, that's also energy of Krishna, then Krishna indicates, okay, loosen your grip on this living entity. Let him come to me. So then the Maya Devi loses her grip on that living entity. It's just like if you go to your friend and your friend has a big, very big dog, and as soon as you go to the door, this dog starts barking at you. But then you call out your friend, you call the name of your friend comes out and he will tell his dog, hey, hush, Tommy, sit down. So this dog stops barking and he sits down quietly, and then you can enter inside. So same way this material nature is Krishna's energy. Devi hi esha gunamai. It's very powerful. It's very difficult to overcome this energy. But when Krishna indicates that this living entity is surrendering unto me, he is trying to come to me, so then this material nature loosen its grip and one can approach. Now somebody may say, oh, this material energy, because of these three modes, is giving me so many wrong choices. I am doing these wrong things because of influence of this material nature only. What is my mistake in this one? I am influenced by the modes. I am influenced by the material energy. No. Material energy, yes, these three modes are of the material energy, but material energy, this Maya Devi, does not give us the wrong choices. We are making those wrong choices. Okay, all these different options are present in front of us. We are choosing the wrong options. We are choosing the wrong things. For example, on a test, the teacher may give a test to the student, and this test is multiple choice questions. Now for question, there is 3 wrong choices, 1 right choice. So all these choices are available. The right choice is also there, wrong choice is also there. And the student who knows, he will pick the right choice. He will tick on the right answer and not choose the wrong answer. So it's not that the teacher is proposing those wrong choices. All the options are available and we have to choose the right thing. So same way in this nature, in this material world, all these different options are available. It's up to us what we choose. Are we attracted towards the wrong things or we are attracted towards the right thing? So there is an option to attend the spiritual program also, to listen to Bhagavad Gita. There is another option to go watch movie. There is another option to go attend some other potluck party. What option do we choose? All these options are available. So we have to make the right choice. So that's why this material nature is very difficult to overcome. But when we surrender to Krishna, Krishna, please you guide me, you take my charge, then Krishna will help us to cross beyond this material energy. So yes, material energy can be overcome. Then okay, what type of people are not able to approach you and what type of people approach you? So Krishna says, Krishna has explained, I can be perceived in this material world, in this material nature by various means. I am the Supreme Lord. Then why not everybody approaches you? Because they are influenced by so many of these different things. They are overpowered by the mode of ignorance and mode of passion. So in specifically 4 category of people, they do not approach Krishna. What are these 4 category of people? So Krishna talks about Namam dushkritino mudha prapadyante naradhamah maya apharata jnana asuram bhavam ashritaha. So these are the 4 category of sinful people who do not approach Krishna. So Kriti means somebody who has done some meritorious work, okay, some good work. Dushkriti means somebody who has performed sinful activities. So Krishna says, na mam dushkritino. So there are 4 type of sinful people who do not approach me. And what are these 4 sinful people, 4 category of people here? First is mudha. Mudha means the foolish, ignorant people who are materialistic people. Okay, they are too busy with their earning, too busy with fulfilling their basic necessities of life, too busy with self-imposed duties. Okay, they think, oh, I need to take care of my family, I need to take care of my job, I need to take care of my house, I do not have any time for God. I will see it later. Now I need to do these responsibilities. So those are called mudhas, who are like materialistic people, too busy with their earning and their own self-imposed responsibilities. They have no interest in spiritual life. Okay, just like a donkey who lifts lot of burden on its back just to get some dry grass, which can be available anywhere. But he thinks, oh, I will lift this weight on my body, I will follow my master, take this load to the destination, then my master is going to feed me. Okay, so people are like that. They want to just carry on this burden to fulfill their materialistic responsibilities, and they don't want to understand spiritual life, their utmost responsibility of the human form of life. So mudhas, in one sense we can say they are too much of ignorance of their real identity. They have lack of knowledge. Then second category, Krishna is saying naradhamaha. Naradhamaha, the most fallen among the human beings. Most fallen among the human beings. Is there a separate species, separate category among the human beings which is called naradhama? Yes, because when all these different species of life are described, we say 84 lakh yoniya. Among them there are species as trees and plants, insects, reptiles, the birds, aquatics, and then also human beings. And the species of different variety of human beings are 4 lakh. Ye 4 lakh. Among 84 lakh, 4 lakh are the different variety of human beings. And among them some variety, some species are called naradhama, means the most fallen among the human beings. Basically, they have a very low level of consciousness. So the mudhas at least can be given knowledge about God, and they can be brought to that level, to God consciousness. But if somebody has no interest in spirituality, he just thinks, let me just enjoy, that is the ultimate goal of life, then one cannot do anything about that. That is called the lowest among human. Okay, naradhama. Somebody thinks, oh, spirituality I will think about in the old age. Let me just enjoy, make merry. And they think the ultimate goal of life is just to enjoy. Okay, khao piyo, moj masti karo. So that is their whole goal of life. And they may be very busy. They are just running from one place to another, just like driving at 100 miles per hour. But if somebody stops them and asks, sir, where are you going? They will say, don't disturb me. But where are you going? Oh, that I don't know. So those are like the naradhama, the most fallen among the human beings who do not understand even the aim of life. And then Krishna talk about the third category, Maya Apaharita Jnana. Maya Apaharita Jnana means whose knowledge has been stolen by the illusory energy. And they may be very well educated materially. They may be scientists, doctors, poet, so very well educated, materially scholarly people, but their whole knowledge, whole their intelligence has been stolen. Maya Apaharita Jnana. Their whole knowledge has been kidnapped by Maya. Okay, and they take the wrong choices, they make the wrong decisions. Somebody is trying to even prove that God does not exist. They completely deny the even presence of or existence of God. So that is Maya Apaharatta Jnana. And then Asuram Bhavam Ashrita, taking to the shelter of demoniac propensities. They even defy the existence of God. They make enemy with God. Okay, they claim that we can become God. Like Ravana, Hiranyakashipu, they started thinking we are God, we can become God, and they wanted to kill God. So that is Asuram Bhavam. So even these people, these four category of people which we discussed, Mudha, Maya, Paratta Jnana, Naradhama, Asuram Bhavam Ashrita. So these four category of people, they do not approach the Supreme Lord, Krishna. They don't accept Krishna as the Supreme Lord. They may be accepting Devi Devatas or different aspect of God, like Jesus, Allah, okay, but they don't approach Krishna or in his various other forms as Lord Vishnu, Lord Ramachandra. So they may consider themselves as very religious people actually. They may also occasionally go to temple to ask for wealth, for health, etc. Like Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu approached Brahma to gain the power so he can become immortal. And then he can rule over everybody. So it does not necessarily mean these people do not accept some higher being. Yes, they may accept some higher being, some other Devi Devata. They may approach them for some powers also. But they are inimical towards the Supreme Lord. So these Asuram Bhavam people, they also may consider themselves religious people. And they become fanatic about that. Okay, they become fanatic about particular Devi Devata. I believe in this one. If you believe in my God, my particular faith, then I will accept you. Otherwise, I'm going to destroy you. Okay, so that is their mentality. So these four category of people, they do not approach the Supreme Lord Krishna. And then Krishna says, there are another four category of people who start to approach me. And what are these four category of people? Krishna says, Chaturvidha bhajante mam janah sukritino arjuna arto jigyasur artharthi jnani cha bharatarashabha. So these four type of people, they approach Krishna. Chaturvidha bhajante mam. They start worshipping me. What are these four category of pious people? So arto, somebody who is in distress. Somebody may have bodily problem, somebody may have financial problem, somebody may have legal problem. So to find the solution for their problem, they go to God. Okay, please help me. Please take me out of this misery. So arta. And then jigyasu. Jigyasu means out of curiosity. Oh, maybe there is God. Oh, I have heard about this Krishna so many times. These devotees distributing books and chanting the name. So let me go and check it out. Because people come to temple out of curiosity. And then there is third category who is Artha-arthi, who is seeker of wealth. Okay, they approach God to get some boons from God. Dhanam Dehi, Putra Dehi, Sundar Bibi Dehi, so all those sort of things. So they go to get something from God. And then the fourth one is Jnani, who is seeker of knowledge. He is not that he is in perfect knowledge, he is seeker of knowledge. I want to get some knowledge. So that is the reason he starts approaching. So these are the four category of people who start approaching the Supreme Lord. And then Krishna is so hungry for devotion, even if their devotion is mixed and not on the pure level, still Krishna is very happy to accept them, thinking gradually they will become pure. At least they have come to me, and now I will slowly purify them also. So these four category of people, at least they start to surrender to Krishna. And we have examples of all these four category. Say Arto, example is Gajendra. Gajendra was attacked by a crocodile. His foot was in the mouth of a crocodile and there is a fight going on. And in that miserable situation, he called out to the Lord for help. And then example for Jigyasur is Shanakadi Rishi. The Shanakadi Rishi in Naimesharanya, they are approaching Sutta Goswami out of inquisitiveness. That we want to know We have been performing this 1,000-year-long yajna. Our faces are turned black with the ashes, and you are here sitting very peacefully. So we are very inquisitive. How are you so peaceful? Please share your secret with us. So that is inquisitiveness. And then Arthi, Artha Arti, example is Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj went for performing austerity because he wanted to gain a big kingdom. Okay, so that was out of some desire to gain something. And then Jnani, somebody who is seeker of knowledge. Example is the Chatush Kumara, the 4 sons of Brahmaji. Sanak, Sanat, Sanandana, Ityadi, the 4 Kumaras. So these are the examples. So there are 4 category of people who start approaching, and ultimately they become purified. They became perfectly purified and became pure devotees. So, okay, these are 4 category of people who start to approach Krishna. Then what happens once they start approaching Krishna? So Krishna says, after many lifetimes, one become completely perfected in knowledge. That is the Jnani Bhakta, who has complete knowledge, Jnana Vigyana Sahitam. And how that happen? When they take shelter of a guru. That's why Krishna in 4th chapter has already mentioned that somebody should approach a bona fide guru. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Otherwise, one will be going from one lifetime to another lifetime, just wandering about in this material world in various species of life, even though in human life also, going again and again into this cycle. So, but once somebody approach a bona fide guru, then they come to the real understanding. So, bahunam janma namante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvam iti sa mahatma sudurlabha. After many births and deaths, bahunam janmanam ante. So after going through many births, once somebody is in perfect knowledge, they surrender unto me. Jnanavan mama prapadyate. Vasudeva sarvam iti. They come to this understanding that Vasudeva, Krishna, he is the Supreme Lord. Vasudeva sarvam iti. Sa mahatma sudurlabha. That great soul is very rare. Yes, in the beginning also Krishna says, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhai. Among thousands and thousands of such practitioners, one knows me in truth. Why? Because after many lifetimes, even somebody comes in the process, if they do not approach a bona fide guru, try to understand that knowledge perfectly, they may be just going life after life in this. But after many lifetimes, somebody comes to this understanding that Vasudeva, Krishna, he is the Supreme Lord, and they surrender unto him. So that soul is very rare. So Vasudeva is everything does not mean serve everything. Okay, that is like pantheism philosophy. Vasudeva is everything means Vasudeva is manifested in everything, but Vasudeva has his personal form also, and we should approach that personal form of the Lord, Vasudeva, Krishna, Lord Ramachandra, Lord Vishnu, and try to serve them, surrender unto them. See, when Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlad, where is your Vishnu? Can you show me Vishnu? Is your Vishnu in this pillar also? And Prahlad, he was looking at the pillar, he paid obeisances, so he was not simply seeing the pillar, but he was seeing Lord Vishnu inside the pillar. And he offered Prahlad did not offer garland to the pillar. He offered garland to Lord Narsinghadev. So yes, Vasudeva is present everywhere, he is in everything, but he has his personal form also. Okay? So the atheist person may say God is nowhere, but the devotee will say God is now here. I can perceive God in so many different energies of God here. So Krishna says that's why people do not understand me. And after many lifetimes, some rare soul, they come to my complete understanding. Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. And Krishna's definition of Mahatma is different. If we may have some definition of Mahatma in this world, that was some noble person, some great soul who have done many philanthropic activities here, some social activities here, that is very Mahatma, great soul. But Krishna's definition of Mahatma is different. Mahatma is somebody who perfectly understand the Supreme Lord, who perfectly understand Krishna and surrenders unto Krishna. That is Mahatma. We give title of Mahatma to so many people. But Krishna's definition, title of Mahatma, is reserved for somebody who is devotee of the Lord, a pure devotee of the Lord. So next question comes now. Okay, Krishna, I understand that you are everywhere and there are certain category of people who can accept you or reject you. Then what about those people who do not reject you but they approach other devi devatas? What about them? So are they also devotee? What is their destination? What happens to them? So now Krishna talks about that section in this section of 7th chapter, the different other devi devatas. So if somebody is approaching other devi devatas, what is their position? So Krishna talks about that. Kamaistes hritagyana prapadyante anya devatah tam tam niyama asthaya prakartya nityah savayah prakartya niyatah svaya. So Krishna says, those whose intelligence is stolen by different material desires. Kamaistes hritagyana. Their knowledge has been stolen, their intelligence has been stolen by the material desires, kama. They approach different devi devatas. Prapadyante anya devata. So they approach other different personalities. They follow their particular rules and regulation of worshipping of that particular personality based on their nature. So now Krishna is not rejecting all these people who are approaching other devi devatas. First of all, Krishna says, I have created other devi devatas also. There are different methods of worshipping in the Vedic scripture based on the level of the worshipper, based on the level of the person. So this is like the concession given. Okay, if you want to do this, so some particular concession is given. For example, if somebody is a chain smoker, now that chain smoker, he smokes 50 cigarettes a day and he goes to the doctor, his lungs are failing and the doctor want to cure him from that problem, and the doctor knows this person is not be able to stop the smoking altogether. If I tell him don't smoke from tomorrow, he's not going to do that. So the doctor tells him, okay, you are smoking 50 cigarettes, reduce it. Okay, bring it down to 25. Because the purpose of doctor is to gradually reduce that and bring him to zero so that he can be cured from his problem. Okay, but now if this chain smoker who was going to the doctor and he brought him down to 25 from 50 and the doctor himself died and this chain smoker started claiming, oh, this is told to me by doctor that I can smoke 25 cigarettes. Arey Baba, he had given you a concession. Okay, you were smoking 50, so he brought you down there. He had given a concession and ultimately there was final other process for you to completely get rid of that. Same way in the scriptures, there is a concession given that, okay, if you are so much filled with so many desires and based on your particular nature, you can worship this particular devata or that particular devi to fulfill your desires within this material world. So this system of worshipping different devi devatas is like a concession system, so that at least they start accepting a higher authority and start approaching them indirectly. It is like they approach these devi devatas indirectly, they are approaching Krishna. And Krishna says, because these devi devatas, they are also my representative. If somebody is worshipping these devi devatas, first of all, I make their faith steady to worship that devi devata. And the result which they are getting from these devi devatas, I am the one who is giving these results. And indirectly they are worshipping me only. So Krishna has created this indirect process. So at least they start approaching a higher authority. They start accepting somebody rather than themselves being the controller and the enjoyer. Just like if there is a king and the son of the king, he has some disagreement with his father, with the king, and he leaves the palace. And he goes out. He tells, I don't want to be dependent on you. I will make my own name and I will make my own earning. Okay, so the prince, he leaves the palace, he has some disagreement with his father, and now he is living in the city, and he is struggling, he is not able to maintain himself, and the king is trying to bring the prince back to the palace, and king sends his minister. Okay, so you go in a disguise, you at least try to give some benefit to this person, this child, okay, my son. So this minister of the king, he goes in a disguise and engages him in his service. Oh, you work for me, and in exchange I will give you this much, I will fulfill your needs. So king himself has sent his minister to take care of his son. Same way, Krishna has created all these different devi devatas to indirectly take care of the living entity in this world who have left Krishna out of some misunderstanding, out of some disagreement, and they have come into this material world trying to enjoy for themselves. And they are struggling in this material world, and Krishna has created all these various devi devatas indirectly to engage them in their service. So at least they start approaching these different personalities, and ultimately slowly Krishna will reveal to them and they will come to Krishna. Okay, so that is the overall intention behind creating these various devi devatas. And Krishna says, I am the one who gives faith to worship particular devi devata. I am the one who is giving the result through these devi devatas. But one should understand that these results are temporary, which are awarded by the devi devatas. So Krishna, ultimately, if we really see, Krishna is so kind, he does not reject any devi devata worshippers. Okay, he does not reject the worship of the devi devatas. He does not reject the people who are worshipping these devi devatas. Krishna is not concerned about his own glory, but Krishna is concerned about our gradual elevation. So we can gradually elevate to the highest spiritual platform. See, if in your office, if there is a boss, and if you are glorifying your boss and you start telling the boss, oh, you are so great, you are like the owner of this company, you are like the CEO of this company. And if the CEO comes at that time while you are glorifying your boss, what will the CEO do? Oh, you are glorifying this person, he will fire you also and that boss also. But Krishna is not like that boss who is offended by some living entity worshipping another devi devata. Okay? So Krishna is very broad-minded. His whole intention is to bring the living entity closer to him by gradual elevation. And Krishna is our real well-wisher, Suhrid. Krishna is our real maintainer actually. In one sense we can say Krishna is our real boss. See, if we compare Krishna to our bosses in the offices, the boss in the office, he will pay us if we work hard to fulfill his goals, right? We help him to achieve his goals. But Krishna, he makes arrangement for all our basic necessities, even if you reject Krishna, even if you do not believe in Krishna. Even if somebody is atheist, Krishna still take care of that person also. He is providing all the basic necessities for that person also. Atheist is also getting sunlight, moonlight, air, water, everything. So Krishna is not rejecting. Our bosses in the office, they may be Naradhama. They may be doing all sort of nonsense things, drinking wine and eating nonsense and everything. So they are Naradhama, but Krishna is Narottama. He is the highest among everybody. Your boss is not going to tell you, come live with me in my house. Right? After your retirement and after everything, your boss is not going to invite you. The owner of your company is not going to invite you. Now you can come and live with me in my house. But here Krishna is telling, you are welcome to come to my home. Okay, I am ready to receive you in my own home, my own abode. You are welcome to come to Goloka. So Krishna is so eager to invite us to Goloka. So Krishna is so dear friend of us that he does not leave any living entity. Even if somebody glides down to the lower species of life in the form of a dog, a hog or insect or anything, Krishna is still accompanying them in their heart as Paramatma. So Krishna is the Supreme Lord, He is the well-wisher of all, and even though people may not accept Krishna, they approach other Devi Devatas because of their desires to gain something in this material world quickly. Okay? And Krishna had mentioned that in 4th chapter also. And what is the end result if somebody approaches the Devi Devatas? Krishna says all the benefits which are given by the Devi Devatas, they are temporary. Because Devi Devata themselves are temporary. They are also a designation. Their post is not permanent. They also have a duration of life. So people who are less intelligent, they go to the Devi Devatas. So Krishna has very boldly mentioned here, okay, Alpa Medhasha, who are less intelligent, these are the people who go to other Devi Devatas. Because the intelligent person will start to understand that whatever benedictions I am getting, these are very temporary, these exhaust. If somebody worship the Devi Devata to get some wealth, ultimately that wealth is going to exhaust. If somebody get beauty, that beauty is going to exhaust. If somebody get good health, ultimately that good health is going to exhaust at some point. So all these benediction which we are getting are exhausting, and the ultimate goal is to become free from this cycle of birth and death. And who can do that? These Devi Devatas cannot free us from the cycle of birth and death. Even Lord Shiva, he tells that only Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna, they are capable of providing that liberation, that freedom from the cycle of birth and death. So Krishna says if somebody worship these Devi Devatas, at the end, ultimately, all the most they can go to the planet of these Devi Devatas. They can go to Swargaloka, Brahmalok and live there for a certain period of time and try to enjoy there. But my devotees, they will ultimately come to me. Mad Bhakta Yanti Mam Api. So they will ultimately come to me. So the result of worshipping the Devi Devatas, they are temporary. Devi Devatas are a post, not permanent. They also have a duration of life. Okay, and people worshipping these Devi Devatas, they are just going up, down, up, down, up, down. Sometimes they can become Devatas also, and sometimes they can become Devata Upasak also. Okay, that's why there is two terminology, two word used, Bhakt or Upasak. Upasak is for the Devi Devatas. They worship the Devi Devatas for certain benefits. Bhakta means, Bhakta word is reserved for the Supreme Lord only. Somebody is worshipping the Supreme Lord, that only can be considered as Bhakta. Somebody is worshipping other Devi Devatas, oh I am worshipping Durga, I am Durga Bhakta. No, you can consider I am Durga Upasak. Bhakta word is reserved for the Supreme Lord. Okay, so Krishna says, my devotee, they come to my abode. Now, Krishna further says that unintelligent men, who are not intelligent, they do not know me perfectly. So, the abuddhaya, here Krishna uses the word abuddhaya, who are unintelligent, they do not know me perfectly. They think that the Supreme Lord Krishna, he was impersonal earlier, now he has assumed a personal form. He has appeared in this form of Krishna. And that is because of their small knowledge. They do not know my higher nature, that I am imperishable. I am that Supreme Lord. So people, they may claim that God is formless, while some other people may consider God has only his personal form. But both these viewpoints are restricting. Okay, both these viewpoints are incomplete. Yes, God is simultaneously Nirguna and Saguna. Somebody who claims God is only Nirguna or somebody who claims God is only Saguna, both are incomplete. Complete understanding is God is present in three forms simultaneously. And what are these three forms? Paramatmeti, Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagwan iti Shabdate. In the form of localized feature as Paramatma, in the form of Brahman, pervading everywhere, and in the form of his personal form, Shyama Sundar, he is present in his spiritual world. All these three forms are existing simultaneously. So that is the complete understanding. So Krishna says somebody who is unintelligent, they think, oh, earlier God was impersonal, now he has accepted this form. And Krishna says, Naham prakasham sarvasya yoga maya samavritah mudhayam na abhijanati loko mam ajam avyayam. So I am never manifest to the fool and ignorant class of people, fool and unintelligent class of people. For them, I am covered by my internal potency. So I cover up myself for them. And therefore, they do not know that I am the unborn, the infallible. Just like sun, the sun is not visible to all the people at all the times. Okay, for some people, the sun is present at particular time. For some other people, sun is present at another particular time. So Krishna is also, in his spiritual world, he is present permanently. But in this world, Krishna comes at particular times. And when Krishna comes at particular time in this material world also, at that time also, not everybody is able to understand Krishna's supremacy. Krishna was present in Hastinapura, in the assembly of Hastinapura, but still Duryodhana, Dhritarashtra, they were not able to understand Krishna's supremacy. So that's what Krishna is saying, Naham prakasha sarvasya yoga maya samavrita. I cover up myself for the unintelligent, foolish class of people. I am not manifest to everybody. And then the next question comes that, okay, if everybody else get covered up by your maya, do you also get covered up by maya? So Krishna says, no, everybody else is covered up by my maya, but I am not covered up by maya. Why? Because I am the knower of the past, present and future. I can know everything about every living entity. So Vedaham samatitani vartamanani cha Arjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu vedana kaschana. So Krishna says, I know all the things of the past, present and future. But no one knows me. So Krishna knows about everybody. Everybody is past, present and future, but everybody together cannot understand Krishna. So what is that? Krishna knows the past, present and future. Sometimes we also try to know our past. Right? We also try to get the knowledge about our past. Our knowledge of the past is very limited. Based on some historical record, based on some archaeological record. But Krishna's knowledge of the past is from time immemorial. For example, if somebody want to know a building which is 100-year-old, maybe they can go to the municipal office and try to get the record of that building, right, the registry or something, and they can reach to the owner of that building. They can come to the understanding who is the owner of this building, who made this building. If the building is 500 years old, maybe there is no registry available in the municipal office, but based on some archaeological facts or archaeological survey, somebody can try to understand. If the building is 5,000 years old, then it becomes much more debatable. Where to find the proof that who made this building and all? Then one has to accept from the authority. See, like right now in India, there are so many court cases for Krishna Janambhumi, for Ayodhya Ram Janambhumi and all, that okay, earlier it was Lord's birthplace and later on they try to destroy and build another building on top of that. But finding the proof of those 5,000-year-old building, who made that building, who is the owner, it's very difficult to find those kind of things. So one has to accept from the authority. And Krishna, he is the supreme authority. Krishna says, I know the past, present and future of every living entity. So Krishna knows the past. Our knowledge of the past is very limited. Krishna knows the present. We also may know our present, right? Our present circumstances. But even in our present circumstances, we do not know what I did yesterday in the morning time, same time, or yesterday same time in the evening, what did I do? And Krishna knows everything. Not just one living entity, but all the living entities, innumerable living entities. So Krishna's hard disk does not get filled. Our hard disk may run out of data, okay, run out of the disk space. But Krishna's chip system, the computer system, does not run out of the space. And it does not get corrupted also. And Krishna knows the future also. We also try to know the future. right? By palm reading, by making our horoscope or something, we try to understand our future a little bit. But Krishna says, I know the future of all the living entities. But then one question may come that, okay, if Krishna knows the future of every living entity, is everything predestined? If everything is predicted, are we like robots? Then everything is ditto going to happen like that. But the point here is Krishna knows our future based on how we are going to act. Krishna knows that also. What kind of choices we are going to make, what are we going to do, and based on that, what situation we are going to land into. But Krishna knows the future. Krishna does not interfere into that. Like we may know our past, but we cannot do anything about that now. So same way Krishna knows the future, but Krishna does not interfere in that. It's not Krishna cannot do, but Krishna willingly does not interfere. He allows us to make our choices based on our free will. So Krishna knows everything, so that's why he is not under the influences of Maya. We are under the influence of Maya. And then another question comes, okay, since when the living entity became bewildered by your Maya? When did living entity come into the influence of Maya? How does the living entity come into the influence of Maya? So one of the very wonderful verses in this chapter, Krishna says, Ichha dvesha samuttena dvanda mohena bharata sarva bhutani sammoham sarge yanti parantapaha. So Ichha dvesha samuttena, because of the desires to enjoy and because of the dvesha, the enviousness from others, because of the illusion and delusion caused by these things. Sarva bhutani sammoham, all these living entities are under the influence of Maya. So two words are used here, moha and sammoha. Moha means illusion, sammoha means delusion. Okay? Illusion is something which is caused by outside influence. Okay? Like we say optical illusion. So basically based on some external things, external influence, that is called illusion. And delusion is which is caused by our feelings, our different ideas, our mindset. That is called delusion. So here Krishna says, from the beginning of creation, so all the living entities are bewildered by the ignorance caused by these dualities arising from the likes and dislikes. I like this, I hate this. So ichha dvesha. Okay. So because of these feelings of ichha and dvesh, because of these dualities, they are put into this ignorance, and since the time of creation. So now these external perceptions of happiness and misery, the heat and cold, success and failure, these rise because of what I like, what I don't like. Whatever I like, I develop desire to achieve that. Whichever I dislike, I develop hatred for that. And this deeply binds the living entity into this material world, into various material bodies. The desire is something like which is never completes, never fulfills. If somebody takes the whole sky as a paper and the whole ocean water as ink and try to write on that, still the desires will not be fulfilled. That's why Shankaracharya, he says, Angam galitam palitam mundam dashanavahinam jatam tundam vriddho jati gritva dandam tadyapi namuchyati asha pindam. A person, he passes all his life trying to enjoy. Now his body has become old and pale. All his body limbs are failing. His hair has fallen down. All the teeth have fallen out. His body is so weak, he is walking with the help of a stick. Still, tadyapi na muchyati asha pindam. Still the desires do not leave the person. So we develop so much of desires in this material world based on I like this, I want to achieve this. And they develop so much hatred towards the other things. I don't like this, I hate this thing. So people talk about so many different diseases as TB, cancer, knee problem, etc., etc. But the most deadliest disease in 21st century is described as desire. Okay? And this all advertisement industry is targeting on selling the things which are not needed. See, if something is of our need, one will definitely go and get it for itself. All this advertisement industry is trying to promote those things which we may not need. So that is the whole advertisement industry. There is no need to sell atta, chawal, dal, rice and all. What they are selling is brand. Oh, you take atta of this brand, rice of this brand. So they are selling brand, not that basic commodity. So it says if somebody has 3 wives, the hunger, thirst and desire. And out of these 3, the desire is the most chaste wife which never leaves. So people, they are filled with desire, and because of the desires they get bound in this material world. And then the second thing is hatred, dvesha. We have hatred towards other people, maybe who are better to do than us, who are happier than us. We develop hatred towards those people. We get hated towards sometimes devotees also. Why? That devotee is more advancing than me. And people have hated towards Krishna. They hate Krishna. And that is the reason of our being in this material world in first place. Because we thought, why Krishna should be in the center? I want to also enjoy separately. I should be the boss. I should be in the center. Everybody should serve me. Everybody should do my glorification. So because of that dvesha, I don't like this, I like this. Because of that we get under the influence of this material energy, and we are into this material world. So envy means, we can also say N and V, no vacancy. As long as we have envy, there is no vacancy for us in the spiritual world. Until somebody is filled with envy, one cannot become qualified to go back to the spiritual world. So we have to give up this desire and give up this envy. Ichha dvesha. Now, the next question may come that, okay, then if everybody is bound by your illusory energy, then who is qualified for your bhakti? How to become qualified to do your bhakti? So Krishna answers, Yesham to antagatah papam Jnaninam punyakarmanam te dvandamoha nirmukta bhajante mam dridhavrataha. So person who have acted piously and whose sinful action are completely eradicated, they are freed from this illusion caused by this duality of Ichha and Dvesh. Yesham tva antagatah papam, whose sinful propensities, sinful actions are completely eradicated, and they will engage in my service with determination. Bhajante mam dridhavrataha. So जो मनुष्यों के पूर्व जन्मों के सब पाप खत्म हो चुके हैं, जिन्होंने कुछ पुण्य कर्म किया है, वो मोह के द्वंद्व से मुक्त हो सकता है. And then they engage in Krishna service with full determination. So this verse answers this question, that who can engage. Now, those who have done punya karma, their sins are destroyed partially. Then they come to some level of goodness. And as they come to some level of goodness, slowly their ignorance and passion start to reduce. And so slowly their mode of goodness start to increase. And that results in decrease of illusion. So consequently they become less and less attached to this material world, and then by chance they have a chance association with my devotees. So that is Krishna is saying, right? They have chance association with my devotees, then they become completely free from sin. So bhakti is not because of our materialistic piety. Bhakti is not given because of some pious activity. Bhakti comes from bhakti sukriti. If somebody has acted based on some bhakti sukriti, somebody has got bhakti sukriti in their previous life or in this life, then their sins are completely eradicated. For example, let's say somebody worshipped tulsi. Okay, somebody watered tulsi unknowingly. They got bhakti sukriti. Somebody helped a devotee unknowingly. Somebody helped devotee by giving them some money, by giving them some food, or helping them by arranging for some program. They get bhakti sukriti. So by getting bhakti sukriti, their previous sinful activities become eliminated, eradicated, and their illusion is removed, and then they become situated in goodness, and slowly then they come in the practice of bhakti. So being freed completely of illusion means dvanda moha nirmukta, and then they become steady, dridhavrataha, in worshipping the Supreme Lord. So thus one should not consider that punya karma is the cause of any type of bhakti. Actually, bhakti is earned only by bhakti. Some disciples of Srila Prabhupada, they asked Prabhupada, how is that we became so fortunate? What kind of punya we had done that we engaged in Krishna bhakti? Prabhupada said, you have not done any punya. I have created your punya. Okay, I have created this punya for you to be engaged in bhakti. So bhakti comes from bhakti. Somebody who has bhakti in their heart, they can give bhakti to others. We cannot earn bhakti based on our some punya, materialistic punya done in this life. Okay, bhakti can develop only by somebody giving us that bhakti in our heart. So here Krishna is answering somebody who has done some sukriti, bhakti sukriti. Their sinful tendencies have been eliminated, and then they worship me with determination. So that is the chapter 7 of Bhagavad Gita, understanding Krishna, Bhagavat Gyan. Okay, understanding the powers of Krishna and also realizing the sweetness of Krishna, that how merciful is Krishna, and we can establish different relationship with Krishna in the mood of servant, in the mood of friendship, in the mood of parents, in the mood of lover. Okay, so Madhurya Ras. So in this different relationship we can experience, we can realize Krishna in that way. So Jnana Vigyana Yoga. So that is chapter 7. Again, remember the acronym HEAD, HEAD. We can understand Krishna by hearing. Okay, that's where the spiritual activity starts. The Navada Bhakti starts with Shravanam, hearing. By hearing, we develop more and more attachment to Krishna, and all the doubts are eliminated. And then how to perceive Krishna? Krishna is everywhere. We can perceive Krishna everywhere in this material world through his various energies. Even though Krishna is everywhere, still people have choice to accept him or reject him. There are different category of people who never approach Krishna, and there are certain category of people who start to approach Krishna. And then what about those people who approach different devi devatas rather than Krishna? So Krishna talk about them, that they are less intelligent, their intelligence is stolen by the material desires. They want to fulfill their material desires quickly in this world, that's why they approach devi devatas. But all these devi devatas are also my representative. I give the benefit through the devi devatas, and ultimately indirectly they are worshipping me. And the foolish people cannot understand me completely. I am covered up for the foolish people. And ultimately somebody whose sinful activities, sinful karma is eradicated based on some bhakti sukriti, then they engage in my bhakti with more determination. Okay. So thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Let's see if there is any discussion points, any questions.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I have this question. So does people like who approach the Devi Devatas also come under the 4 types of people like who approach Krishna?
Yes, so see, some people based on these four things, they may approach other Devi Devatas. And some people, because of these four things, they approach Krishna also. They think, oh, Krishna is also same as other Devi Devatas. Everybody is same, right? Some people approach Krishna based on these desires, either because of their misery or some desire to get something. But there are some people who approach other Devi Devatas also. So yes, the people who approach other Devi Devatas, they are prominently approaching because of the three things only, not four. Okay? They are not in knowledge. But people approach Krishna, somebody who is in knowledge also. That, oh, I should approach Krishna. He is the supreme controller, Jnani. And that Jnani, when he takes shelter of a guru, his knowledge matured, then he engages in bhakti with determination. So that's where that Jnani turns into that Mahatma. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavanamam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti sa Mahatma sudurlabha.
I see. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Any other question? Arul is saying no question.
He has a question. Arul, you want to ask? No, ask.
We don't know the right answer.
Okay. Okay, Arul has a question. Okay, go ahead.
God is controlling us and
No, ask. He has a good question.
no.
God is controlling us.
God is controlling us and so
Okay, what is your question?
Some of us don't pray to God and God is controlling us. So God does not want us to pray to Him.
Okay, Prabhu, can you repeat his question?
Yeah, he's saying when God is controlling us and
Okay.
some of us don't pray, so that means God doesn't want us to pray.
Oh, so that is a nice excuse to say, oh, Krishna is making me do this. Krishna doesn't want me to pray him. Okay? No, what I mentioned is earlier that all these different choices are given to us. Now it's up to us if we want to make the right choice or the wrong choice. So to pray to Krishna or to not to pray Krishna, both choices are available to us. It's up to us what choice we make. Okay, so Krishna is not forcing us to make one choice or the other. It's our free will. So you said God is controlling us. No, that is not the right statement. God is not controlling us. He has given us the free will. Okay, we are not like the robot that Krishna is pulling our strings. We are influenced by the three modes. Okay, and based on that we make the choices. For example, your parents give you the option that, oh, you should drink milk. Okay, you make the choice, no, I don't want to drink milk. Okay, so are your parents controlling you?
Go bring some milk.
Answer.
Parents controlling you?
No.
No, right? So parents tell you to make the right choices. They want your well-being, right? They're your well-wisher. So they tell you this is right thing for you to do and this is not the right thing for you to do. But now you make the choice. Parents tell you you should study this time, don't watch TV or don't play games. So both options are there in front of you. Study or watch games or watch movies. Now it's you who may make the right choice or the wrong choice. It's not that your parents are controlling you. Yes, they may tell you, okay, this is good for you, this is not good for you. Ultimately, you end up making your choices. And based on that, you face the consequences. Okay, so same way, Krishna has given us the choices. It's up to us what choice we pick. Okay?
So thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, anything else? All right, if no other questions, I think we'll end it here. Okay, once again, thank you for joining. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.